You know, I like to begin tonight by saying that marriage is an institution. It is not cohabitation. It is not infatuation. It is an institution in the sense that it involves the complexity of persons from different backgrounds coming together to make a home. I need to be very, very specific about these words, because a lot of time people just, get infatuated, obsessed about someone, and the next thing you know, they've turned out to, start staying with each other, and over time, one child, two children, and loads of things do happen. So marriage is an institution. I like to establish that. Marriage is an institution that is created by God Himself. The Almighty God is the creator of the marriage institution. Whether you are a Christian, you are a Muslim, we all agree to this fact, okay? So just like every other manufacturer or every creator and inventor, the framework, whether it is legal, whether it is moral, spiritual, whatever you call it, that guides and directs that institution is gotten from the manufacturer, is gotten from the creator. I was telling someone a few days ago, every marriage that loses God out of the equation is like already a marriage that is, how do I put it? It's like dead on arrival.
Sorry, guys, without being religious this night.
Yes.
Without being religious this night, any marriage that has no God,
it's as good as
dead. I'm not going to fake this, and I'm not going to lie about it. Any relationship that leads to marriage and there's no God, for those of you that practice Muslim, there's no what you believe in. Because I know that for the Muslim brothers and sisters that get married, they have values too in the marriage. That's something they look up to. But I don't know more about Quran.
Yeah.
So I'm going to talk more about my own set.
Yes.
A lot of things I noticed today, I'm not going to lie to you, is that a lot of young couples, there's no God. And
Absolutely.
A lot of old couples, they've allowed God
out of their marriages and their homes. You're very right, Mr. Richard, very right. You see, I describe the marriage institution as a triangle. A triangle, if you understand your arithmetic or physics or whatever very well, is made up of three sides. The two sides majorly that comprises that triangle is the man and the woman. And the part where they all climax, it's the God factor in it. Each time you take that out of the equation, Mr. Richard, you understand that in the fire quadrant, there is air, that is oxygen, there is the foil, and of course there is something that ignites it.
Yes.
Each time you take one out of it, the fire can't be sustained.
Yes.
That's the way it is. So for the fire of every marriage to be sustained, the God factor, irrespective of whatever religion you take, must be. You know why I say so? Because what we have actually seen today is the drain of morality, whether in the marriage sector or in marriage setting, or in the family setting, or even in society. That's the bane of what we're experiencing today. So now going about what exactly really causes trouble in marriages. Number one is that when this factor, the major thing, is taken out, every other thing just seems to fail. Number one I'll talk about tonight is unrealistic expectations.
Unrealistic expectation.
It's a major crisis in marriage. What do I mean by that? I got married to this woman. I didn't know her very well. We got to cut, maybe 5-10 months, 1 year or thereabout. And suddenly I want her to look like someone I see on TV. I want her to be like one of these celebrity actors who just show us only the good parts, and everything looks all good. Unrealistic expectations will crash your marriage. Don't say because someone is riding a car, then your husband must do everything. Your wife must become that. I was sharing with someone recently. I said, listen, if your husband says that's what he wants, for the sake of peace, why not compromise a little bit here and there? The husband says, hey, I need you to dress in a certain way. There must be a balance point. I'm not saying you should dress all sexy, where everything shows up and all of that. But please, when there are unrealistic expectations, there are usually troubles in marriage. The other thing I would like to talk about tonight is infidelity. You know, you and I were discussing the other day, and we talked about the fact that sometimes men just wake up and they say, I don't like my wife anymore. I don't think I'm in love with her anymore. See, sir, you are not the only one in that dilemma. Every other man feels that way. I must say this is, we're real here. Every other man feels that way. There is a common saying amongst men. I don't usually subscribe to that. But what do they say? They say it's not ideal for a man to eat one soup. And so that's a legal yardstick for men to always, look for other women and all of that. Hey, sir, that's not correct. But what am I saying is that it is a natural trait. It's in the DNA of a man to always see and admire, to always see and get attracted. But what helps each of us that, as we've been able to stand the test of our marriages over the time is discipline. Infidelity is a common crisis. I mean, you were talking about the